Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is be like graphene. What is graphene? It's spelled Graphene. Graphene is a future building material that China already has manufacturing, is already starting to manufacture it. It's a lightweight, pliable material. It's thinner than paper, stronger than steel, and it's very lightweight. So it's going to be a building material of the future. It's called graphene. It's made from graphite, and graphite, its original element is carbon. Okay, so this message is be like graphene. Again, let's cover it. This is going to be a material in the future that they're going to try to incorporate in aviation and in cars, which could be good for the environment because it's lighter, so you burn less gas if you make car parts with it. So vehicles, aviation, and even technology is getting a hold of it because it also conducts electricity and other things quite well. You can do your own research, but I read a couple articles on it. It's the future. It's the material of the future. Okay, so this message is be like graphene. And let's again review the qualities of graphene. Durable, stronger than steel, one of the strongest materials. It's going to be a material of the future. It's lightweight and it's pliable. Okay, I think I read that plastic has a stretching capacity of 1%. This material is pliable and bendable up to 20% from its original form. Okay, so it's very pliable, yet it's strong and lightweight. So graphene, it's going to be something you'll be reading about or hearing about in the future. Okay, tech is going to use it in a lot of our phones, devices, TVs, just all technology is going to use it, aviation as well as vehicles. Okay, its qualities. Why do we say be like graphene? Because the whole thing of the devil, remember, is to distract. Okay, our mind is the battlefield. So the more he can distract your mind, the more he can affect your emotions, your thoughts. That's a control center of everything else that goes on in your body and in your life. Okay, so we want to be like graphene. Again, let's review its characteristics one at a time. So we want to be as strong as steel. Okay, an example that I can think of from the Bible is Joseph. When he was in prison unjustly. Okay, he worked for Potiphar. He worked for this really rich guy, and his wife wanted to get with him. Basically, I'm just going to sum it up in my own words. But his wife wanted to get with him, and he was a righteous man, and he turned her down, and she couldn't handle it. So she took a piece of his clothing when he ran away. He actually physically had to run from her. And she tore off a piece of his clothing, and she used that as evidence to back up her lie that she said that he tried to pursue her. So he was imprisoned unjustly over her lie. And in the Bible, it says during that time, his soul became like the iron handcuffs on his feet. Okay, I guess back then, we handcuff our wrists now, but back then they were chained by their feet when they were imprisoned. But it said his soul became like iron. Okay, so in other words, a very strong, durable material during all those years that he was in prison unjustly. He could have became bitter, he could have gave up hope, but he didn't. He continued to work on himself internally, and therefore he became very resilient in the process. And that prepared him for his high rank as second in charge to the Pharaoh. After he interpreted his dreams, and Pharaoh put him in charge of the famine that he predicted was going to happen after their 7 years of abundance. Okay, Egypt was going to have 7 years of abundance, and then they're going to have 7 years of famine. That Joseph interpreted the Pharaoh's dream to be. Okay, and you can read the story of Joseph in the Bible for yourself to get the details. But so be like graphene. Like Joseph, we have to become as tough as steel, as tough as graphene, a very strong, durable material. And that's inside, okay? Because the devil's going to attack that. He's going to attack you in any way to break you down and to make you feel weak and to make you lose hope. Knowing that's his strategy, we have to stand against it. We have to stay strong. Stay strong how? Stay strong in the Lord. Read all of the scriptures that build you up, that talk about his strength, that he makes you rise up like with wings as eagles. He makes you, run and not be faint. All of those scriptures that make you stronger. That's the way you build up your strength, your durability, okay, to stand against the devil, because this is what he's attacking. Okay, so strength, durability. What is another characteristic of graphene, this future material? It's pliable. Okay, pliable. And I thought this was important because you can have something that's very strong, but there's something called PSI, right? Pressure, or things that if there's something subjected to it under a lot of pressure, then it could break. Strong material, right? I mean, it takes a lot of pressure, but so why not be bendable and pliable? I was thinking would be a better characteristic than just strong. Because if you're just strong, then there is something, it takes a lot, but there could be something that could break you. But if you're bendable, not flexible, like think about that. If you're bendable and you're flexible to the situation, then you can't really be broken, right? Because you're bending. It makes me think of the reed, even though it's an organic material, that is easier to break than, like, say, the thing we're talking about, graphene or steel or titanium, really tough materials, strong materials. It bends. Like the wind doesn't knock it over because it bends in the wind. It flexes. Okay, and that quality, and this is something I need to work on too, is to be more flexible. In some things I'm extremely flexible and I can bend with it. But in other areas I'm rigid and just too, like, I could be more flexible, which is a very desirable quality in our nature, because, or in our characteristic, because if you can bend with the things that are happening and flex, then you can handle more pressure. Think about it. If something comes at you, you want to be more flexible and bend. You don't want to be like rigid. Rigidity is not, like, especially in leadership. I have a lot of good bosses. I've been blessed to have experienced a lot of good bosses, people in leadership above me and that's one quality I noticed that they do have, is that they're structured in a lot of ways, yet they're flexible in some areas. And that makes a good leader, because, they don't break under pressure because they can bend with it. They have good discernment to know what to be flexible about and what not to be. So that's a quality. We want to be bendable or flexible. Okay, the third quality of graphene is that it's lightweight. Okay, it's lightweight. That's why they're going to use it for aviation and vehicles, things that move, because you burn less fuel, right? If it's lighter. Okay, so we want to be lightweight. What does this mean? Like lightweight, I interpret it as we don't want to be offended easily. Okay, so we're not offended easily. Okay, because think about it. When you get offended easily, then you're thinking that everything's about you, right? I mean, if you get to the bare bones of it, it's like when you're offended, you're thinking that it's all about you, when it very well could not be. That situation that you're being offended about, it couldn't have nothing to do with you, but you're thinking that it is, and you're offended. Okay, so being lightweight is not taking offense. Okay, take things lightly. Even if people are trying to offend you or trying to break you down or cut you down with their words or actions or anything, persecution, like, be light about it. Just take it lightly. And then if it doesn't have any effect on you, then they're not accomplishing their goal, which is to break you, to affect you, right? If you're just, like, you take things lightly. I think it was Tony Robbins. I heard him say this in one of his speeches, that why can angels fly? And he said, because they take things lightly. Okay, so it's that. If people are coming against you or trying to offend you, or they could not be, whatever it is, don't get offended. Be light in your... Okay, and I can use this advice too, because I tend to get offended. You know, I think there's been growth in this area for me over the years, but yes, we should be lighthearted, in other words. Let's translate that to lighthearted in our... Don't take offense, okay? So be like graphene. We want these 3 characteristics. We want to be strong and durable, yet we want to be flexible, and we want to be light, aka lighthearted, if we translate it to a human characteristic. Okay? Hopefully this was helpful to you. Maybe someone needed to hear this. God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit love you. The bunnies and I love you too. See you in the next video.